Hey, welcome everybody to MIPA's Wild Wednesday webinar. This one is sponsored by Apothecary Products. My name is Roger Burnett and I'll be your host today. If you'd like a copy of today's presentation, you can download it by clicking on the button at the upper left-hand corner of the chat box on your screen. And to receive CAS credits for today's presentation, participate in the survey at the end, or send your PIN number to paul@mipa.org or to your own regional executive director. On the left side of your screen, you'll find a chat box. At any time during the presentation, you may enter your questions or comments, and we will do our best to answer them at the best possible time. These webinars are another great TOM experience produced by MIPA and distributed throughout District 3. That's TISPA, OPA, MIPA, UMAP, PPAW, and PPA Chicago. Today, you're about to learn about the new cold call, how to generate business through social marketing, from my very good friend and one of the most innovative leaders in the industry today, Danny Rosen. Danny is the co-president of Brand Fuel, a distributor in North Carolina, and he's also one of the founding chefs of Pro Kitchen and Industry Mentoring Group. Danny, my good buddy, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thanks, Mr. Burnett, and thanks for joining me today on this wild, wacky Wednesday. I'm hoping that we can get through this and have you guys have some great takeaways on ways to sell more stuff in our industry and in other industries as well. But this has got a promotional product spin, and it's not going to be social media marketing 101 for sure. So hold on for the ride. Let's jump right in. A few questions for you just to ask yourself. How many of you are running through this social media fatigue? You're sort of tired of it. It's getting boring, where you're hard to navigate your way through it. And when you see Facebook and you look at your friends' posts, you feel like your life is not as great as everybody else's. I sort of feel that way as well. And I would like to tell you that social technologies can, in fact, help you generate more business. So there's the social side, there's the business side, and they do intersect. And if I told you that you could make more money doing it this way, I would think that you would probably invest resources in it. So while I believe that face-to-face is ultimately the #1 way to grow business, there has been a sea change in the way that people shop and buy things. So there also needs to be a sea change in the way that we sell things. So on this webinar, I'm going to show you some ways to sell more stuff, expand your brand. You're going to use technology tools that are mostly free. We're going to talk about social selling and how that aligns with profitable revenue growth and proper pipeline management. I'm going to provide some real-world examples of sales and marketing tactics that are helping in businesses, primarily in the promotional products industry, and I'm going to show you how to improve your bottom line. So let's set the tone here. I just like this picture. It doesn't have to do with anything, but let's see if I can get this rocking. A little video on LinkedIn's Art of Social Selling. Full screen. Hopefully you guys get this.
If this person has a LinkedIn profile, it is almost analogous to a company not having a website. As much as a sales professional goes online to research their prospects, your prospects are researching you. Some companies, some people believe that if they jump on the social selling bandwagon and just say that they're doing it, that all of their prayers are going to be answered, and that's just not the case. It's a discipline. It's unlearning, especially as a seasoned salesperson, a lot of the stuff that you had maybe even worked for you in the past. It's training you on a new methodology and rule set to get job done. For example, most seasoned salespeople are used to one-to-one engagements either through phone or through meetings. And the reality is that most people just don't have time for that, most decision makers don't. And because we don't have the ability to have one-to-one interactions with all of these people, all of these prospects and our customers on a very personal level, we have to learn to leverage other tools. We find that social selling isn't just about the idea that you want to go connect with everybody. but it is finding the right connections, the decision makers that you want to do business with, and finding the right insights about them. Sales reps that are leveraging their connections to gather insights and build the relationships. They're understanding that they're in many ways mini marketers, and they're able to expand their network very quickly and share information and become magnets for a lot of these new prospects. Differentiating yourself as a professional using these social networks, we're finding that it's actually speeding up the sales cycles. It's building even better connections because you're not just having a phone call or an email once a quarter or once a month. You're having ongoing engagements with individuals because of a natural flow of content. Ultimately, sales professionals, relationships matter. And you're not going to be successful in any career unless you learn how to leverage those relationships. And if you're leveraging them the right way, if you're building the connections the right way, no matter what you do in your career, you're always going to continue to excel because all of the connections, all those relationships that you've fostered and built over the years are going to continue to build you up.
All right. So I saw some people were having some difficulty with hearing. So I'm just going to, Roger, you can pop this in. The thing to look up in YouTube to watch that video by LinkedIn, which is really helpful, is called The Art of Selling on LinkedIn. It's worth checking out. It's worth sharing with people in your office. So if you care about stats, here's a good one for you. A Social Media Examiner 2014 study found that 92% of businesses indicated that social media is important to their business. Businesses are reallocating part of their budgets from traditional methods of advertising, and they're investing in social media and newer inbound marketing strategies. So that said, let's look at some old ways to sell and market and compare them to these new school tactics I'm going to share with you. And the best part, again, most of these tactics are only going to cost you your time. All right. The old way to prospect was cold calling. Now, when I started selling promotional products in the 90s, my sales cycle began with cold calling. I coveted the power of the Yellow Pages. It was my #1 sales tool. And when the new Yellow Pages arrived every year, I felt like Nabin R. Johnson from the movie The Jerk, if anybody remembers that. That's what this picture's from. Microfiche is how I search for promotional products. You might remember these antiquated tools. Now, in 2014, cold calls are significantly harder to make. Everyone has caller ID. Very few people have a landline. And let's be honest, very few people like even talking on the phone, except your mom. So what I'll tell you now is the new way to prospect is different. It's refreshing. It's not easy, but it's important to try and navigate because the world is changing in the world of selling. So now are investing in training their salespeople to learn how to be successful at social selling. Now I'm going to give you a few seconds just to spin through this page here and consume it a bit. So as you look at this, you'll see this is sort of what I would call a social manifesto. And so why invest in learning this new way of selling? It's because decisions are now made based on what your prospects find through Google, your website, and social media, often before they respond to your sales efforts. Now, if your avatar looks anything like these guys, you're probably not getting a call back. So there's a shift afoot. And marketing used to own branding, PR, events, and product marketing. But now marketing, along with sales, are beginning to own a lot of the company's lead generation activities because the old school sale methods used by you all and your reps are not working very well. Companies are putting in deeper layers of in-house client managers to handle the business that comes from these inbound efforts. Let's give you a little bit of a diagram. So look at this Venn diagram, and you can see the old versus the new. And as you look at it, ask yourself how many calls you have to make before you actually connect with a prospect who is a complete stranger. How many emails do you send before you give up because your emails go unanswered? And that strikes a chord for me. Not many people will spare time to talk to a stranger who's trying to sell them something. I think we all agree with that. But forward-thinking salespeople and companies are embracing new approaches to break down these old-school communication barriers, and they're doing it through social selling. Social selling is really becoming their secret weapon. Tech-savvy salespeople are now using social media on the job to monitor potential clients and competitors, to gather intelligence, and to network, and is giving them an edge over the competition. Now, a recent study found that salespeople leveraging social media on the job for work outperform peers not using it by 73%. So here's another old way of selling. You would connect to your top clients in LinkedIn. Now, that's a step in the right direction, but it's pretty passive now. A new way. Create a plan for yourself. Let me say that again. Create a plan. You need to work your plan. Ask for introductions from current LinkedIn connections to others in their company. You've got to penetrate those accounts. You've got to open new doors. You might want to even script cleverly written requests to open those doors in LinkedIn, and I'll show you a couple of those later in this webinar. Another passive activity, you would check and see what your clients and suppliers are up to on social. Maybe even do a little industrial espionage and see what your competitors are up to. Now, a better activity would be looking at what a client is sharing publicly on social. Then you might create proactive proposals and send samples with personal notes to support what your client is talking about in social. Not too long ago, I actually wrote something for Promo Kitchen on the blog. You can go to promokitchen.org and look under my profile, and you'll see a post about taking care of the supplier. And it got some nice reviews from folks, and particularly suppliers, and how distributors treat suppliers in our industry from time to time. And there was a representative, a sales rep from Beacon Industries, which is a supplier, who mailed me a really nice leather-bound Beacon padfolio, and in it was a letter that was handwritten, just said, "Thanks, I really appreciate your article. Really made me feel great that some distributors think this way. Hopefully others will as well." My question for you is, do you think we're doing business with Beacon Industries now? And the answer is obviously yes. She opened the door and made me feel really good because she was watching what I was doing on social. So case in point. Engage with your clients on Twitter, LinkedIn, and corporate Facebook pages. Rapport. Get on the offensive versus the defensive. Now, what does that mean? Getting on the offensive means searching a client's social media profile to find interests. Maybe it's a band that they really dig. Maybe you'll get personal and source an autographed poster of said band and send it to them with a thank you for their business without an inkling of a sales pitch. Just send the thank you. Now, we're living in a thank you economy where the rise of the internet and empowerment of the consumer have created a fundamental shift in how businesses are expected to behave. This presents a lot of opportunities for us. So you think back about that example of the client who received that autographed Iron Maiden poster. Do you think they're going to share that highly personalized poster gesture with others? Possibly. Will it end up on a wall somewhere prominent where they can often be reminded of you in a positive manner? I would think so. The next time something goes wrong, are they going to kick you in the teeth? It's doubtful. They're probably going to be more forgiving because you've gone out of your way on the front end to thank them and to get in touch with them and build that rapport. Just imagine how we could use that same approach in our industry for yourself. Now, my friend, Nate Bailey, he's from Ideation Promos in Portland. He's also a Promo Kitchen chef. He actually buys books that are connected to business prospects. He's never met them, yet he knows their interest through social media discovery. And after his prospects receive a book, Nate follows up and has a decent close ratio. He sets meetings with about 30% of those folks, and 75% of those meetings turn into clients. So talk about ROI. Now, you're looking to connect with the CEO of PPAI? Here's Paul Bellantone. This took me about 3 minutes to find. This is information. It's a treasure trove of information out there about Paul Bellantone. And you can see what types of bands he listens to, by way of example. This is an easy way to personally connect with Paul, for example. So the old way of thinking about Facebook now, I want to talk about that a little bit because I think the old way was that employees on Facebook at work, it's not productive. Now, the new school way of thinking about Facebook is maybe you put a social media policy in place and you trust your employees. And by the way, if you want a copy of Brandfuel's social media policy, just send me an email, DannyR@brandfuel.com, And again, DannyR@brandfuel.com. Check it out and share it with your employees, and you guys will have something set up. I think employees can and should become stewards of your brand on social. They can and should socially connect with clients. They can and should suggest that their connections like your company's page. They can and should share company posts in their news feeds. This translates to LinkedIn as well, and it helps build research as well as stronger SEO. So, another old school method, provide a quote and pray. I mean, how many of you have provided a quote and said, I hope that person gets it, opens it, and buys some stuff from me? That's old school way. The new school way is here, the pillars of social selling. Listen and learn. Research and relate. Engage and impress. Collaborate and close. It's a new way, a new approach to actually selling stuff. Passive social media marketing, for your company or for yourself, you would post on your company pages in an ad hoc, reactive, holy hell, I have no idea what I'm going to post today, haphazard fashion. And you think about the active side of posting in social. Now, I read somewhere that social media is like teen sex. Everybody wants to do it, but no one knows how. And when it happens, most are surprised it was not any better. So you have to be committed to practicing in order to make it work. Abandoning your plan is really a liability. So I would suggest you develop a social media calendar that's monthly, that ties in the calendar holidays, current events, and map it out. Search for trends. And I look at places like Reddit, REDDIT, and Kickstarter. Great products and new ideas and what people are talking about in culture are happening in those two environments. There are others as well, but those are two of my favorites. And also, I'd strongly urge you to test paid advertisements. And I'm going to show you some examples about that later. So why do we do all this stuff? Again, it's because as you approach new business, your prospects are going to be investigating your company's webpage, their social marketing efforts, and it needs to reek of vibrancy and smartness. After all, we're in a creative industry, right? So I'm going to make a little intermission here on recommendations for you guys. The optical nerve is 40 times faster than the auditory one. This is an obvious one, but post pictures. Now at Brand Fuel, we always say ABC, always be creating. That means we create a folder with ongoing arsenal of ideas. Now, number 2, be sure to make it easy for folks to follow you. And here's a tip. Have your entire company embed social links in their email signatures. That's just an obvious one. 3, we do this at Brand Fuel. We perform monthly maintenance by following our new clients' company pages where it makes sense. Get your salespeople to do this as well. Have them individually follow those folks. Hopefully your clients will then follow you. Now, this is the psychological law of reciprocity in action. 4, feature your clients in posts. You're hoping that they notice your efforts, and if you get lucky, you'll get some reciprocation. 5, practice what you preach by giving away branded promotional products when you have engagement, or to create engagement. And we've seen our followership increase at Brand Fuel where we have contests more than any other day. I looked up a study for you guys, and this is a great one. One study showed that 65% of people on Facebook connected with brands because of contests. So invest in that insight. Number 6, and my last recommendation here, check out these 2 places. One's called Nutshell Mail. It's owned by Constant Contact. But what Nutshell Mail is, it helps you aggregate all the social technologies that you're on. So for me, I get a digest twice a day. You can get as often as you want or not as often as you want. That way I'm not constantly in all of the social media at one time. I can look at a digest, and it connects to LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. It gives me company pages, personal pages. It's got every social media that you may be a part of that you can connect with. You can see that engagement. You can limit the numbers that come in, and it's a beautiful tool. The other one is Hootsuite. Most of you have probably heard of Hootsuite. There's a lot of other tools out there. We use that for our dashboard and social media. This allows us to do scheduling, so that we don't have to run to the computer at 9:03 a.m. every morning and upload everything. We can plan in advance, and that's a really helpful platform. Now I'm going to show you some real-world examples of developing relationships on social with customers and those who you want to become customers. So again, those who you want to have become customers, they are definitely looking at your social channels as well as your website, and anything about you before they choose to work with you. All right, so this is, if you guys are familiar with it, Promotional Products Professionals Facebook page. You have to be blessed to get in. You need to either be a supplier or distributor. There are no end users in this Facebook group page. It's private, although some people try and squeak in there from time to time. They get kicked out and outed. You can see here in this platform what's happening. There's a treasure trove of opportunities on social platforms like Facebook. This group happens to have every single day, I would say 20 or 30 people looking for things. If you're a supplier and you're on this webinar right now, you better have someone, scanning and trolling what's going on in this particular group page, because there are opportunities for you, not just to do business, but to help others. There's a true belief here, you give and you get. And there's a word, the root word sell comes from Old English, sellen, which means to give. So remember, this is a give and a take kind of thing. So check out the Promotional Products Professionals group on Facebook. They've got probably 3,000 or so people in there engaging a lot every day. Here's another one. This is a LinkedIn group. This is the PPAI Industries Professional Networking group. It's pretty fantastic, and I like this because there are end users in here as well, and there's some other great LinkedIn groups that you all probably know of as well, where you can see the second one. Someone's looking for a vendor that makes truck silhouette decals. There's opportunities in there for distributors and suppliers alike, so keep your eyes there. Now, we work in a system called Common SKU, and I don't get paid to give an advertisement for this. I'm sharing this with you because I think this is the way of the future, and I think Common SKU really gets it. They have a similar thing to what we've got in that Facebook group page with just Promotional Products Professionals, where they're engaging constantly amongst each other in a very social way, but they're helping each other out. And what I really like about this medium is that you can see from time to time there are distributors helping distributors, suppliers helping suppliers. There's a network right there on that on this page that's social that allows people to engage with each other and help each other out. So if you just go to commonsku.com, you can actually get a free, you get in there free on their social, and you can get a paid version if you want to go in deeper with their CRM and everything else there that they offer. So, our audience, our buyers, they want fresh ideas and approaches, right? Familiar is comfortable, but it's also forgettable. And while final decision makers remain in high-level positions, we are now selling to a younger assistant marketing professional. They're typically in their 20s or 30s, and they're pretty savvy. And where do they spend their time? It's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's YouTube, it's Instagram, and hopefully it's more professional places like LinkedIn. They're watching what's going on, and we need to go where they are. So what I like to say about that is these younger folks, it's almost like we need to look at them as the decision maker someday. So developing relationships with them now is like sales prospect succession planning. So being active professionally in social media is going to help improve your understanding of your customers, and it will help you build stronger relationships. You have to work on new ways to reach this audience. Selling promotional products can be a lot like politics. Most companies tend to gravitate towards the middle, where they hang on to the coattails of all the old campaigns before them. It's time for us to be brave and feature our creativity in social. So I'm going to show you some examples of what we do, and hopefully none of you guys are Nickelback fans, but I'm sure I'm going to offend somebody here. But this is what we do in Brandfuel. These are real posts from my distributorship called Brandfuel, and we have some fun with it. An exercise in promotional products narcissism, that banned with a hashtag. This was something that happened to us a couple weeks ago. A client said to us, you guys put your foot on the gas and you never let up. And that's what we posted, just some copy. It was very well received. Here's another one. It doesn't have to all be about promotional products. This is just sort of keeping people positive and letting people know that that's connected to our brand, being positive and upbeat, fun. This one we posted where we had a throwback. It's tech. This is our entire customer service staff and sales team up in the top. We just took a picture out there with one of those phones that connects to your smartphone. And I think we had some copy in there also that said, hey, interested in these smartphones, contact us. This is a shameless plug for my youngest daughter, Tyler. We did some what I call brand good. You can see the hashtag down there. We went and entered a cornhole tournament, and we had the Brandfield rocket launchers. We didn't lose. We didn't win. We lost miserably, but we had some fun, and we raised a bunch of money for the Food Shuttles Backpack Buddy program. You can see up there the post reached 3,800 people. We had some messages around. It was really nice. Some of the ladies of Brandfuel, and in the middle down there, some of our team, we had a field day with the pink ladies versus the purple rains. And we just posted work, play, stuff your face with marshmallows. And you can see up here Kelly Doan, one of our sales reps, stuffed, I think it was 17 marshmallows in her mouth. We had a contest and she won. She really doesn't look like that. So engage your team, the people who are watching you on social, with some pictures of your staff. This is non-industry related, but this is, if anybody knows who Paul Hewson is, this is Bono's original birth name. You know, he was rejected from RSO Records in 1979. Thank you for submitting your tape of U2 to RSO. We have listened with careful consideration, but feel it is not suitable for us to present. We wish you luck with your future career. Gosh, I would hate to be Alexander Sinclair. I think that guy probably got fired. It's a rejection letter, and we just said, hey, you might need a little uplifting on this. It was a Monday, I think. It was rainy where we were. We used that to inspire folks. There's a picture of my business partner, Robert Fivash, and I hanging off of our first building. We started in 1998, and it was sort of a pat on the back. Congratulations to us for 16 years in business. Let's journey back to the year 1998 on Throwback Thursday and our first marketing gimmick. You know, if you were the copywriter, what would you have written? The best caption wins. We gave away some stuff, and the winning caption was, Robert's mother said, so I guess if Danny jumped off the side of a building, you would too. And really representative of our friendship and our partnership at Brandfuel. Leverage the news is the tip here. So anybody knows Devo, the band from the 80s, we were big Devo fans. Bob Castelli, the guitarist for Devo, died, and we want to do a little tribute for them. And I remember when Bob had called Brandfuel in 1999 to have these lenticular buttons up here recreated for their Rhino Records anthology, and I literally almost gave them to him for free. I was so excited. I was actually talking to the right guy. This is interesting, too. I didn't realize this, but I connected with Gerald Casali, his brother, on LinkedIn years ago. We hadn't really done a whole lot. He's sort of hard to get a hold of, but he sent me a note through LinkedIn just saying, hey, thanks for the tribute to my brother, and that happened right after Bob died. This was great. We're always talking about how nice it is to surprise and delight our customers, right? And then this morning, one of our favorite clients truly surprised us, and we're gushing. Thanks, Gripples, for being such a great client partner, and way to go, Alex, and everybody else on the team who work on this account. Our client actually sent this cake to us to say thank you for our hard work, and so we posted it. So the tip is show client and staff appreciation. This is me, and we sell that product. This product is like an orgasm for your scalp. Some of you might say that's inappropriate. I would say that people are probably laughing and getting a kick out of it for the most part. If they don't want to buy from us because we're a little inappropriate and we're a little irreverent, then so be it. So the tips, be a little weird. Humanize your brand. Involve your CEO and staff in posts. We celebrated 100 years of the T-shirt last year. I want to show you guys this because we built a photo album of some of the best T-shirts that we sort of could find along the way and along the World Wide Web. And so we curated 100 pictures of these awesome T-shirt uses, and we did a little tribute to the 100th birthday. And certainly we got some nice engagement out of that too. We hired a bunch of sales staff and support staff at one time this year, and said please take a moment to welcome 6 new Brandfuel employees to our team who are already creating their own little dynasty. Favorite quote so far. Most people named Willie are either in prison, on the arm wrestling circuit, or working at Brandfuel. So they had some fun with Duck Dynasty, obviously, and we pimped them online. This is some Twitter post. Client said to us when we went in for a pitch, he said, look, when you pitch me, I don't want to see anything that's not useful. And we said, amen. That is just great advice for everybody. Another Twitter post, this is a product we really like called the Juice Box. Our friends at Orage Audio sell it. They package a power bank inside a little kid juice box. You totally customize them. My favorite thing about this is down the bottom, someone you would consider a competitor. I don't know Blue Soda Promotions very well. I know they do a great job in this industry, but there's this girl, Jess, who's there, who saw it, and she said, Brandfuel, very clever juice box, love it. That made me feel good because she's saying, that great job to a competitor, essentially. It's a really nice medium for that. Love this one. Be sure to call Brandfuel to help with your campaign logistics. Hashtag useless eraser. Hashtag promo products fail. This was a Disney product that was sold. Awful. The eraser doesn't work. Okay. Or Twitter. We're thrilled to be a part of Stewart Engineering's 25th anniversary via commemorative custom Lone Rider beer. Congrats. So here we are celebrating our client. We got some local beer done. We had the labels produced, and we went a little over edge with them and did some really nice things for the 25th anniversary. And of course, they retweeted and favored it and appreciated our investment in their anniversary. One of our staff members posted this. Well, this is about to come in handy. You can see it's pouring rain in her car. She's got a Brandfuel umbrella in her car. Hashtag downpour. Hashtag promo products. Hashtag umbrella. We sell bendy hashtag USB thingies that will delay your client and happily carry your data from here to there. This is just a quick picture we took in the office of one of the samples in our showroom. I love this. Design beyond your logo. We do that. We say that a lot in our social mediums, and so we use products to feature things just beyond slapping a logo on a product. These are our friends up in Canada. I don't know if you guys know Fairwear Promo and Echo Apparel as well. Echo Apparel is a supplier. Fairwear Promo, check them out. They are a Canadian distributor, and they are a group that is B certified, and they are focusing almost everything that they do is based on corporate social responsibility. And there was a documentary that came out, and they were featured in it. We just thought that was the greatest thing, not just for them, but for our industry, that you can approach the industry in that way. So we featured it and said, atta girls. Love this. How to freak the kids out. Best hashtag 3D printing decal advertisement ever. We didn't do this, but this is at the end of an escalator. And we do sell 3D printing. We all do these decals. So this is a great way to get people to think creatively. Also to know, what your company is doing and selling. These are 3 posts from clients of ours, Fanbase and ABC Affiliate, and then VCU Arts. They just posted products that we sold to them with Thanks Brandfuel, which we loved. And it's nice to see when customers are, again, reciprocal. This is one we posted in LinkedIn, and it was a little wine bottle pen writer. And you can see at the bottom here, my friend Lisa, who's a client, saw it and said, love these, send me a sample. She's got a side company called Rollywood Media who's ordering those. I think they're in process right now, so it pays off as well. Last, I'm not going to talk a lot about Pinterest, but we've got a bevy of boards, probably 20 or so boards that we have, and there's a tremendous amount of engagement there. We get a little business from that, but we really don't get a whole lot right now, and I think Pinterest is working on ways to get brands to be able to sell more effectively. So if you're in that medium, that's coming to a place near you. So you can see that our social media strategy supports the belief that our clients purchase and create buying relationships based on 4 principles: friendship, trust, reputation, and fun. So a little bit about Facebook. Facebook rules and regulations are changing for corporations. Unless you're going to pay to boost posts from time to time, Facebook for company brands, right now at least, is not the best investment of resources in B2B. Unless you're willing to invest a little dough into boosting those posts. It's also something called dark posts, and if you want to look that up, that's a good way to target a demographic. The best part about that is that you can access incredible analytics connected to actually seeing results. And so I want to give you a couple examples of things we did. So we said we're open for coffee. We now offer locally roasted organic coffee, gourmet coffee that can be customized. 10% of proceeds go to this great cause. Come visit Brandfuel and get your Rocket Roast blend, which includes a hint of kick in the pants. Hashtag coffee, hashtag buy local, hashtag brand good, because we're giving some money back. This was the post. We spent $40 on this ad in Facebook. You can see we reached almost 15,000 people. We had 98 actions. Again, $40 was spent. We had 2 orders that came in at $5,000 in gross sales. Did it pay for itself? Yes, many times over. If you look down at the bottom there, you can see 43 gave it a thumbs up. We also picked up a whole bunch of new followers, and that was sort of nice. So this does work if you do it right. It needs to be real creative and not totally salesy. This was the one we did in Twitter called Local Custom Coffee. Same thing. We spent $50, 8,000 impressions, 31 new followers, 40% follow rate. Down here, average per follower, $1.61. And you can look at what happened, a time frame. It was almost like 8,000 impressions, pretty crazy. Love this one, so hold your ears if you don't want to get offended. Silicone wine glasses for the pool, beach, camping, and more, because drunk people drop shit with your logo or design. Yeah, our brand's a little reverent, so we're not afraid to do this. We don't do it always, but occasionally in times like this, it's worthwhile, I think. It's a trade-off, right? 8,000 people reached, 141 likes, comments, and shares. Look at how many shares we had, 28 shares. Going down here, love the 62 thumbs up. And we got 2 inquiries. I don't know if they've turned into orders yet. I should look that up, but hopefully we will be able to turn those into orders as well. Here's a great one on Common SKU, and I'm going to leave it up here. You're not going to be able to read it because it's small, but it's going to give you an idea of sort of where I'm going with additional ways to grow social media and your work in that area for social selling. So I think it's important to know that Facebook they're gathering all of your content and they're using it. And I saw something post up in my Facebook feed the other day. It said that there was like an ad for Fig Newtons. I have no idea how they know I like Fig Newtons, but I love them. But that's happening now, so you have to accept that. It's a free service. Those things are happening, but you could also advertise as well and get those paid ads out to a targeted demographic. So check out paid ads. So let's talk about leveraging an order management system that has these social components. I talked about Common SKU, and there are others out there as well, but I think, again, they're doing it really well. And suppliers out there who are listening, distributor salespeople, I think, are okay with your showcasing some of the new items from time to time, but what they really want in social is that you're going to help them individually and be specific about their current needs. Now, I think you're going to say, if you're a supplier, you're going to say, well, distributors just really aren't that transparent. You're not going to share that insight with us. But what I would say is, what if distributors could allow suppliers to enter product suggestions into proposals we have through new technologies? Would that be awesome or what? I mean, we could take them out if we didn't want them, but you could see all the information about the target company, maybe, or at least the industry that we're targeting. You could look at the dollar amount, the quantity, when it's due, what we're trying to achieve. And this is happening to an extent, and it's happening to an extent in Common SKU. And to me, this is a supplier's holy grail. It's also, for distributors, it's awesome because now you're getting very fresh ideas from someone who may know that there's a new product out there that you've forgotten about or didn't know about, that they're helping you with your presentation so that you guys can both have a win-win in terms of selling more. Now, we moved over to this new order management CRM platform, and for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is because where they're headed, and it directly relates to bringing suppliers and distributors together in a very unique way to help us all sell more. So here's this post right here shows a supplier, and what they're featuring is this 6-pen color new item that's out there they're about to introduce to market, and they gave a sneak peek on Common SKU, and it's an embossed logo, a really nice looking pen. And if you could see, I could scroll forever, but there must have been 40 engagements or so. 40 is very, very highly regarded, and so they're featuring this new product. I thought that was great. Now, Common SKU offers this social network that allows suppliers to publish content and engage directly with suppliers like this. And they have these data analytic tools that give suppliers a unique view into how distributors are actually selling their lines so suppliers can be more creatively and strategically connected with distributor salespeople. And every single interaction is measurable, unlike many of the common marketing methods that are employed in our industry today. The CRM tool that they offer, it allows suppliers to track touch points with distributors, assigning an internal workflow resulting in better communication and collaboration. This is really, really cool new world stuff. So my favorite thing here, is this guy is looking for something. He's talking about sales structures and how do you do this. This is a distributor that is looking for assistance. You can see it runs off the page. This is a platform for distributors to help distributors, and I witness this every single day. Someone who I think is a competitor, they're helping a competitor on this platform, and it truly impresses me, and it gives me hope, and it should give you guys hope as well. So let's talk a little bit more about LinkedIn. Now, I'm big on mullet analogies, so what I like to say about LinkedIn is the business in front, and Facebook is the party in back. So 5 tips for you guys on using LinkedIn. The LinkedIn invitation. Now, if you're using the template, I'd like to add you to my professional network. You're totally screwing up your personal branding. Take 30 seconds and make it personal, especially if you don't know the person. And I mentioned I'd give you guys an example. Here's one I used not too long ago. I got a response that said, I love branding, ... companies, not cattle. I see we have 5 mutual connections. There might be an opportunity, and to that end, I'd like to connect with you. And that person responded yes. And what's interesting about that is most people, probably 90% of the people who connect with me, they never follow up with me after I accept. I think it's a personal branding fail. Number 2, LinkedIn is constantly adding new sales tools like Sales Navigator. Check that out. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but it is amazing. They provide real leads and recommendations based on target preferences, real-time insights for connections and companies you follow. That's awesome. Number 3, tap into LinkedIn for warm introductions. Now, here's a good example. A sales rep came across an article about a launch by a major communications company, and this article mentioned the executive who was leading the initiative. Now, after a quick search on LinkedIn, the rep discovered that he had this first-level connection in common with the executive. He referenced the mutual connection as he reached out, and amazingly heard back in 30 minutes. Now, that never would have happened if you had called this person. Never would have happened in email. So use those tools. Number 4, identify new internal buyers and influencers. Look for them in other departments, and your product and services will be a lot more easy to sell, because you're not going to just sell to the marketing folks. You might want to sell to HR. You might want to sell to procurement. You might want to sell to the sales team. Just ask. All right. Keep your profile as descriptive and complete as possible. Here's mine. Crazy picture. Again, I'm a little irreverent. I sort of care. I don't care. I want people to see my energy, because I'm a high energy guy, and I used to have this corporate profile, and I think it gets across like who I am without being that creepy guy in the other pictures. But make your profile descriptive. Keep it up to date. Keep it complete. Update all the personality. Add a little flavor. We're targeting creative marketing types most often. You can see my summary down there is not typical. I fall in love with a lot of people I meet, blah, blah, blah. Join me on life's roller coaster. You have your own. It doesn't have to be so robotic and like everybody else's. I think you need to dare to be different. All right, some final thoughts for you guys as we wrap up. 1, at worst, have your employees tighten up your social media profiles and their avatars. Give them pointers how to do it. They are a reflection of your brand. You better bet people are looking at those profiles before you buy. So pimp those profiles. Number 2, suppliers. Where can you find distributor salespeople online? Go where they are and troll those feeds and engage them. LinkedIn is where our customers are talking about business issues in a public platform. This is a data set that was not available in the past. Number 3, use social selling to gather intel on companies you're approaching and individuals who have that purchasing power. Create a strategy around how to best approach them. And again, you're going to need to have a plan. Those that do this will have better sales performance. Number 4, I think it's an interesting one. Hire a copywriter and create some unique, perhaps clever database of introductions and sales pitches for your team. Number 5, leverage the C-suite to reach out on your sales team's behalf to open those peer-to-peer doors. Get your CEO to help your team be more successful. They're going to be more apt to open that door and then hand the lead off. Number 6, hardly anyone has time for one-on-one meetings anymore, so when you ask someone how they're doing, they're often going to say, I'm really busy. And for me, that's like sleep deprivation is like a badge of honor these days. That's not healthy. We need to leverage other tools and show salespeople how to differentiate, how to speed up the sales cycle, and how to magnetize prospects. 7, I mentioned this earlier, be a go-giver. Share relevant information when you're prospecting on social. Do that, and you just might earn an opportunity to work with that prospect. 8, Wikipedia, Google, countless other online resources have totally democratized access to information, empowering people to diagnose their own problems. In addition, social networks such as Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn have made it possible for decision makers to reach out to peers for expert advice and receive it almost instantly. The web-enabled social buyer is here to stay. Number 9, prospects are leaving a digital footprint for the savvy, connected salesperson to observe and act upon. And last, this is the funnel, the old and the new. Purchasers no longer move down the funnel in this orderly, predictable process. This old school sales funnel is disintegrating. So it's time to embrace and take advantage of the changes in the selling landscape. You can see here, very, very different. Every day is a revolution. Welcome to the future. All right, I'm done. That's it. Questions? Roger, what you got, brother?
All attendees are muted and may unmute themselves by pressing star 6.
In the Q&A mode, so you can ask questions if there's anybody out there in the community that has something that Danny covered that they'd like to have him touch on in any more detail. We should have some Jeopardy music playing.
Why don't you sing? You've got a lovely voice.
Oh, my Lord. That's the fastest way to end the meeting. Well, I'm going to leave it open in the chat window here for a second. Danny,
all attendees are muted.
I wanted to ask you the question personally as far as it pertains to all of the wealth of information that you provided to everybody in the session there. What if it were you, what would be the single most important first thing that everybody could do to get themselves on the path towards where you're trying to take them?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, I think we all agree LinkedIn is this amazing platform, and I'd say that's the place that you need to go and familiarize yourself. They have great, incredible tools to use to, from the videos to, you can have paid webinars and things like that. Get access to all that LinkedIn has to offer. If you're not comfortable in that medium, it's never too late. I would start there, and if you're fairly well versed in LinkedIn, I can tell you this, LinkedIn is constantly building more tools for us. So go there and see what's new in LinkedIn. Leverage that as the #1 tool in which you will be able to engage with prospects, existing customers, and start to look at the groups in LinkedIn and engage there as well. You'll learn some things. You'll be able to add some value. You'll see what trends are, and you'll very likely be able to escalate your sales numbers.
Totally agree. Any other nuggets of wisdom you want to share? Oh, here we do have a question that's come in from the crowd. Question being, do you feel that you need to create content in order to be successful in social?
Yeah, good question, Kirby. I do feel like you need to create content. Most of this was about the corporate profile. So for a company, let's just start there. The answer is hell yes. You need to have a voice. You need to show people what your brand is all about. Expose your brand promise to them. And I think that if you're just pulling content from others and sharing, there's so much noise out there. Be you. What was the thing you said, Roger? Be you, the rest of the world will adjust, right? I think it's important for brands to look at that as well. So yes, I think creating content, original content, not all the time, but for the most part is, and check out Kirby Hausman's business because he does it better than anybody. But I would say individually, I don't think necessarily have to be creating content, but I will say that it is important to have your own voice and your own brand versus sharing someone else's constantly.
Well, and to dovetail on that topic, I'd say it's also possible for you to repurpose other people's content with your own opinion. So to perhaps grab an article that speaks to you about a particular topic and then offer it up along with your own opinion on the topic, as a counterpoint or as a complement to the things that you're consuming out there. So, from content curation perspective, I'd agree with you, Danny. It's important to have a voice, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to spend the entirety of your time creating brand new things all of the time. I think, content creation is equal parts finding things that are out there that you can offer an opinion on and creating your own.
Right on.
All right. Well, it's looking like, other than Mr. Hassman offering us up that question, I think we might just be down to the very end here. So thanks for everybody for joining us. Don't forget to complete the survey as you leave the meeting in order to get your CAS credits for the presentation today. You can also, again, send your PIN number to your executive director or to Paul Kiwi at paul@mipa.org. We'd love for everybody to join us next month for the Wild Wednesday webinar featuring the always delightful and informative Ronnie Wright from the Book Company. It'll be on September 24th at the same time on this same station. I want to thank Danny once again. Danny, fantastic job as always. We really appreciate you living the dream and walking your talk and being able to share content with other people within the industry. That's a very common element of social selling, is not being afraid to share your knowledge. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Lastly, at MIPA, they're smitten with the mitten. Inviting everybody to visit the Bodekin Roads Niles Distribution Center on Friday, September 19th, where you'll witness a state-of-the-art facility, see how they can turn your orders around in an hour, and you'll receive a cool sample in your size. Plus, they're providing lunch. There's more information on that on MIPA's website, and the most exciting experience ever is coming on October 15th as MIPA delivers Promotions That Roar at Ford Field, home of the Detroit Lions. Could possibly be the most successful thing to happen in Ford Field this year. This is perhaps the biggest event that MIPA has ever put on. It's an end user booth show at the start of the prime selling season, so bring your clients and offer them stadium tours, a look at the best ideas in the business, and a chance to hear about the power of promotional products from PPAI's president, Paul Bellantone. Once again, everybody, thank you for participating today. We're all looking forward to seeing you at upcoming MIPA events. Thank you, and have a great day.
Thanks.